Hello everyone, this is Lori from Grammy's Keepsakes, and come and craft with me. I am making some little folders with pockets on the sides to put in the journals that I'm making, and here's one of the signatures. And it just goes like that inside, so you have a place here to put more journaling, journal on the inside, journal here, another pocket, and journal here. So that's what I'm making today. Set that aside. And here's another one that I made. This one. And I put some of the craft colored paint masking paper on the back. And here I've got some of the green paint masking paper. And again on the back. And here I've matted the photo with the green masking paper. And here I've used some lined rice paper. And with nothing on the back, it's just the coffee dyed envelopes. So let's set these aside and let me show you how I do that. I've already coffee dyed my envelopes. And what I want to do is look at which one looks the most interesting. That's the one I want to use for the main. So I like this one. So we're going to put this envelope inside this pocket. And it doesn't fit. Okay. Well, the last two I grabbed were not the same size, were they? Nope. So anyway, they go in like this. And then I cut it off here. And then it's going to be folded over. Here I've got one here. See, we fold it over and glue it. Let's grab another one. And then it looks like this on the inside. So and then I cut off a sliver on each side to make the pocket. This one's air conditioned. We're gonna cover that up so nothing will fall out of our pocket. And this one is complete. But we're gonna cover that up too, just so that it's pretty and nice looking. And here's one I've already covered. And I prefer to have this part in the front because I can decorate it. On the back we can leave it just like it is to journal on, or we can decorate it or put more paper on it. But I thought for this, what I'd do is I would put a little bit of music on it. Oh, this side's more interesting. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and rip this. I don't need quite so much. And then I'm going to ink it. I'm going to use Vintage Photo. this little scrap is a little bit too long, so I'm going to go ahead and just rip off the bottom. That will work. Okay, let's get our glue stick and glue this on. And this is my third attempt at filming this today, so I apologize. I just had so many different things going wrong, and then when I was finally got it working and everything, it was doing great. Error in upload. And so that didn't work. So we're trying it again. So hopefully third time's a charm, right? So now that has covered that seam. And it's decorative and nobody's the wiser. Okay, we are going to find an image to use. Oh, I like them both. Let's go with this one. There's a little bit more coloring with more flowers. I like that. And then here I've got some of my masking paper. And I just want to check for coloring to see which I like better with the image. No, let's go with the green. So now what I want to do is go ahead and use my tear ruler and rip this so that I have a mat of the green. You know what, let's make it a little bit on the large side. Put that aside. It adds some extra interest, doesn't it? And we're going to tear this side as well. Can't get a hold of it. There we go. That'll work. I'm going to glue this onto this first. And I'm just using glue stick. Oh, I didn't knock out the white. Let's just grab that inker and get the white off the edges. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and stick it down. I'm just burnishing it a little bit to make sure it's good and stuck. Double check. Yep. Now I'm going to glue on the back of the masking paper. Looks like it came up a little bit there. Let me hit it again with that glue. I just put lotion on my hands and maybe I undermined my work. Okay, there we go. That's so pretty. I like that. It's a Mrs. Coggs image. And then we've got our papers here. And it's ready for journaling back here. Let me see if I've got a couple of blank envelopes that are the same size handy. Here, these are. They're not coffee dyed, but that way I can show you the whole part of this process rather than just kind of going through it. So what we want to do first is put one flap inside the other. We do that dry fit to make sure it fits. And yes, it's going to work. Now we're going to go ahead and just pull it out. Use glue. And I'm using the art glitter glue that dries clear. And when you coffee dye, the adhesive disappears on the envelope, so I don't ever count on that being there for me. And then we're going to go ahead and slip it in. And press it down. And then after I do the coffee dyeing and stuff, I make sure that these loose bits, I go ahead and add some glue to it to make sure that it's sturdy. And now what we need to do is make this a pocket, so we're going to take a sliver off of each side. So my paper cutter is over here to my left, so got one, got the other one. Okay, so now what we have is a pocket here that's air conditioned and a pocket here that is complete. But now we've got those loose bits again, so let's hit them with the glue. And then I'll show you how I cover it so that the pockets stay pockets, so I don't seal them shut. Just get all our little corners. Put the pin back. Okay, I'm going to ink it a little bit. It's not coffee dyed, but it is a nice off-white creamy color, so I could use it just the way it is. And by the time I get all the decorating and other layers of paper on it, you wouldn't know that it wasn't coffee dyed anyway. So the inking of the edges really helps. And then I want to show you how to take care of this too. I just want to get some of that inking. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut about 1 inch off of that flap, or to leave about 1 inch. Just like that. Now we're going to go ahead and use our glue again. Well, let's hit that part with the ink. in case some of it should show. Now we're going to hit it with the glue. And I'm careful not to get the glue into the score because it's going to fold there, and I'm going to stitch it into my signatures. And I don't want the extra bulk of having the glue when I'm sewing that in. And I don't ink it here because it's going to be seated in between the signature and stitch, so nobody's going to see that part. So let's go ahead and take care of this. Let's use this pretty printed rice paper. Stuff's falling on the floor. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just rip this margin off. And I get my rice paper from Amazon. It's called Master Chinese. You get 100 sheets in a package, and it's A4 size, and mine is for laser printing. I understand that they do have it for inkjet also, but you need to order the right kind for your printer. So I'm roughly just kind of measuring to get where I want to rip it off. And I don't want the rice paper covering my fold because that adds bulk that I don't want in the signature. So, and now we're going to go ahead and ink the edges lightly. And this digital I got as a free gift from TLC Creates when I ordered some of her digitals. So this is the one that is complete. Let's go ahead and do this one first, which is the air-conditioned one. It's a little bit different to do. Instead of applying the glue right to this, I'm going to apply it here and then a line of glue so that we're sealing it shut. And you can see that the glue, it goes on blue, but it dries clear. And I'm using this so that you can see what I'm doing. And for the glue, I'm going to go ahead and just make a fine line on the edge of my rice paper. Now I'm going to try to center it. And press it down. And you can see the blue glue through the rice paper, but it's going to dry clear, so we're going to be good. I missed a corner there. So now for this side, I'm going to go ahead and rip off this margin again. Place it on here for estimation. And it'll be good to rip right about here. And go ahead and ink it. Now I'm going to use my glue book and go ahead and glue the bottom wrong side of this rice paper. This new glue stick is a oozy gooey thing, isn't it? And I'm kind of heavy-handed, so it makes it all the worse. But at least we know there's glue. And eyeballing it, centering it. Let's make it go this way so the lines relatively match up. Not perfect, but it works. It's a handcrafted journal. The charm is in the idiosyncrasies. There. And see how well the blue is drying here already? Just a little bit there. So it dries really quickly, which is a good thing. So now this can be the front or this can be the front. And I'm going to go ahead and use this for the front again because it's got this. And let's put ooh, isn't that pretty? I did that this afternoon between all my video shooting, and it's like a tracing paper. It's an airmail paper, and I got this tablet at a thrift store when I was on my road trip. I just love that. You know what? I'd like to have that in a journal. Let's save it. Well, that one's, oh boy, I gotta find one that I don't love, right? They're all great. Aren't they cool? Oh. Okay, so I like them all. Now what do I do? I gotta find something. Let's use one of these folded ones. That one will work. Then I can save these. Won't these be pretty in the journal? Oh, I love them. Yes. And no two are alike, right? Okay, this has got to fold. So let's see if I can get that out. See where I am on my measurements. That's going to be the trick. Try to get this ripped when it's so close. Okay. Well, I like to have the larger side to hang on to. Let's go with that. And then we got to rip off this edge too. And when it's not much to hang on to underneath, I put a lot of pressure on the ruler so I don't pull it out from underneath it, so that I can get the little slivers ripped off. And now we're going to go ahead and rip this side. And just going to hit the high spots with the inking, of course. That looks like I've got some dried glue on that corner. Get that off of there. With this little white, I'm going to flip it over to use this side. So let's get some glue on that. And you can see the blue through there, but it's going to dry clear, so there's nothing to worry about there. Let's go ahead and just finish this too, so then it all looks like it was coffee dyed. So do some more paper tearing. Well, that didn't work. It will work though. It'll be just fine, won't it? We'll just rip it a little bit straighter. That works. Let's go for it. Let's get this long edge here. And now we're going to get this side. And we'll go for the last side. and hit it with the ink again. And using this really thin paper is not adding a lot of bulk to our insert in our signature here. Determine what side I like better. I like that one. Okay. They're both kind of nice though, aren't they? I just love to coffee dye. I like to see the results of what, you know, each one is so unique. Let's put it this way so I can see better. And burnishing it down. And now we have our inside covered with our lined paper, a complete pocket, a complete pocket, and our outside is completely covered with our coffee dyed crinkly paper. So now we can decorate the front, determine the front and decorate it. This is really cool. Let's leave that as the back so you can journal on that. Wouldn't that be fun to write on? Yes, I like that. And then you can add more inking if you want it more pronounced to go with that coffee dyeing. Just so that it shows up a little bit better. So let's go ahead and decorate this front. I have a strip of green. We can use, oh, here we go. I've got that lady walking on the path through the woods to the cottage is really cool too. This one looks like she's working too hard. Let's go for this one. This one's really sweet too. The little girl with the pink brick. We're going for the walk. Let's take a walk. So what we can do is no. What else do I have here? I've got so much stuff. Let's figure it out. I don't know what I want to do. Well, let's rip this and see if we like it after it's ripped. This is old music paper. It's about a little over 100 years old. So it rips pretty good. It's a real nice weight to it. It's included in that antique and vintage paper collection that I have on my Etsy shop. Well, the lady upside down won't work. Let's rip that green a little bit so that we get a little bit better idea. And off-center it. Let's knock down the white edges of the paper. This is a Mrs. Coggs image. It's white in the garden, and I printed it on a real nice heavy laser paper. So the image comes out so nice and vibrant. And with this music paper, I'm not going to ink this. I think it's really pretty the way it is. Let me go ahead and just glue this image so that we can center it onto our music paper. Get my corners. Ends up being a lot of layers. I've got this paper and the green and this music and her. So there's 4 layers on this envelope, but it doesn't feel bad because it's all such lightweight papers. I think let's go with that. I think if I cut the green down anymore, it would look funny because the proportions, it would probably line up with the lady, and then it would be too much of a, you know, that wouldn't be right. It looks better when it's offset and over into where the cottage is. And it's coming in the middle of the door, so it's not even on the edge of the door. So we don't have any vertical lines, so that's a good thing. Let's go ahead and glue the green paper on. Turn it this way and make it easier for me. I kind of like it centered. Burnish it down. Upside down again. Okay, let's go ahead and apply glue, making sure that I don't put the photo in or the image into wet glue. That would be disappointing. Got her right side up. And then here we have our journaling, more journaling. Or you can collage this as well. And we have our pockets. And there we go. And then I'll go ahead and bring out the other ones again so you can take a look at them. We have the lady walking in the woods. Here she's in her garden overlooking the bay or the harbor. Well, these are to be done. Okay. Here we have the lady with the, looks like cherry blossoms maybe. I don't know. And here's the mom and daughter picking flowers. And here we have the lady in the sunflower patch with a bird on her finger. And we have the mom and the girl with the watering cans in the garden. And here we have the little girl sitting in the garden. And this one's taken from Blue in the Garden of Mrs. Cog. And here I've got a strip of that music paper again on the back. So here's all of our little, this one's taken from Sunflowers. And this I think is Busy in the Garden. I think this is Busy in the Garden too. And this is Pink in the Garden and that's White in the Garden, I think. But thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.